We've seen cheating scandals, we've seen messy divorces, but this right here? This is different. This is nuclear-level disrespect because Claressa didn't just hint at a relationship, she didn't drop vague subliminals, and she didn't leave room for speculation. She said it straight up, bold as ever, like she was announcing a championship fight. She looked into the camera, sipping her sparkling water, cool as ice, and said she and Papoose are planning to start a family together. And the internet collectively lost its mind. Remy, from what sources are saying, completely broke down when she heard the news. We're talking tears, isolation, cancelled appearances, shattered trust, and possibly even broken glass. Because let's be real, when you've given your heart, your years, your loyalty, and your life to a man, and then hear that he's not only left you, but is planning a family with another woman, that's not just heartbreak. That's an attack on your entire identity as a wife, a partner, and a mother. So how did we even get here? Let's rewind the tape. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose were held up as the standard for black love. They weren't just a couple, they were a cultural symbol. The ride-or-die love story. Remy held it down for Papoose during his highs, his lows, and yes, even when he was behind prison walls. Their relationship became proof that true love could survive anything. Matching outfits, public devotion, loyalty through the storm, they were the kind of couple people wrote think pieces about. The sentiment was always the same. If Remy and Papoose couldn't make it, what hope was there for anyone else? They were goals. They were the blueprint. They were supposed to be unshakable. And that's why this betrayal cuts so deep. Not just for Remy, but for everyone who rooted for them. But then, enter stage left, Claressa Shields. For those who don't know, Claressa isn't just anybody. She's a two-time Olympic gold medalist, an undefeated boxing champion, and a woman with the confidence to match her accolades. But in this saga, she has transformed into what many are calling Remy's worst nightmare. At first, the whispers were small. Rumors, speculation, maybe a shady Instagram post here and there. Nothing concrete. But as time passed, Claressa went from being a background rumor to the star of the show. And the way it happened? Brutal. The first real turning point was Claressa's now infamous birthday party. Picture it. Music, lights, cameras, everyone vibing. And then, out of nowhere, Papoose steps up and publicly proposes to Claressa. Proposes, like Remy Ma never existed. The room fell silent, then erupted, and the internet had a field day. Memes started flying, timelines were flooded, and suddenly everyone had an opinion. Some people laughed, others were outraged, and a lot of people were just heartbroken for Remy. Because how do you go from being the face of loyalty to proposing to someone else in public while still married? That moment wasn't just disrespectful, it was the death of an image. The shattering of what many thought was unshakable love. But as dramatic as that was, it was nothing compared to what happened recently. Just a few days ago, Claressa sat down for an interview. She was poised, polished, sipping sparkling water like she didn't have a care in the world. And then, casually, like she was discussing what she had for lunch, she said, "Yes, we're planning to start a family." And with that one sentence, the entire internet froze. Because this wasn't just a new relationship. This was a bloodline shift. A baby isn't just a fling. It isn't just a rebound, it's legacy. Claressa didn't just say, "I'm with your man." She said, "I'm creating the future you probably dreamed of with him." That is not just a shot. It's a nuclear missile aimed directly at Remy's heart. However, the breaking point, the moment that sent everything spiraling, was Claressa's infamous birthday party. It was supposed to be a celebration of her achievements, her life, her victories. Instead, it turned into a public spectacle when Papoose shocked the world by openly revealing his relationship with her. Picture it. Claressa walks in, not with gloves on her fists, but with lashes, a flawless lace front, and a calculated strategy. She wasn't just celebrating another year of life. She was debuting her role as the main character in a love triangle no one saw coming. And the moment Papoose proposed to her, as if Remy Ma had never even existed, the internet nearly combusted. Gasps, memes, endless think pieces about loyalty, love, and betrayal flooded every corner of social media. For fans who had built up Remy and Papoose as the gold standard, this wasn't just gossip. It was heartbreaking. It was the crumbling of a fairy tale. Meanwhile, Remy herself remained silent. Publicly, she said nothing, but insiders claimed she was shattered. Sources reported that she left the party early, devastated, her trust broken like glass. And even though she kept her composure online, the damage was already done. What made the situation even messier was Clarissa's response. Instead of hiding, instead of letting things cool down, she doubled down. Gone were the days of showing up in hoodies with no makeup. Suddenly, Claressa was sitting in interviews, polished and poised, sipping sparkling water, and casually dropping bombs like, "Yes, we're planning to start a family." Think about the audacity of that. Not only confirming the relationship, but making it clear that this wasn't a fling. This wasn't temporary. She was staking her claim in the most permanent way possible by talking about children, legacy, and family. The cameraman literally coughed. The interviewer blinked twice, almost in disbelief. And the internet? It froze. Because this wasn't just bold, it was nuclear. Claressa wasn't just announcing love. She was declaring a takeover. She wasn't just taking Remy's man. She was making a statement about building a lineage with him. And in the world of hip-hop, where legacy is everything, that's not just a relationship move. That's war. And from there, things spiraled completely out of control. Social media became the battleground. Every day brought new receipts, new leaks, new accusations. There were DMs floating around that hinted at private conversations, viral interviews where Claressa flaunted her new role, angry relatives going live and dragging each other publicly. Fans began piecing together timelines, screenshots, FaceTimes about baby cribs, even leaked audio of Papoose expressing regret and uncertainty. At one point, Remy's own sister took to Instagram Live to call Claressa out, blasting her with the kind of raw emotion that only comes from family ties. And then came one of the biggest plot twists. A stylist close to the circle claimed that the entire baby announcement might not even have been real. According to them, it was PR leverage, designed to keep Papoose away from Remy and firmly in Claressa's orbit. If true, that would mean this wasn't about love at all. It was about power, image, and control of the narrative. But Remy Ma isn't the type to just sit back and let life steamroll her. While she kept quiet in public, reports emerged that she had quietly lawyered up. Her legal team, according to insiders, began exploring divorce options, emotional distress claims, defamation, and even the possibility of a restraining order. The argument? That Claressa's media stunts weren't just messy, they were deliberate, calculated moves designed to damage Remy's reputation and her brand. And let's not forget, Remy isn't just a wife in this story. She's an artist, a public figure, a woman whose entire identity has been tied to strength and resilience. Public humiliation on this scale doesn't just hurt emotionally, it impacts her business, her endorsements, her legacy. Meanwhile, Claressa was reportedly leveraging the attention for her own gain. Rumors circulated about new deals, a reality show in the works, a baby clothing line being pitched, prenatal endorsements lined up before any confirmed pregnancy. To her, it seemed the chaos was just another form of publicity. The ripple effects didn't stop with the three of them. The entire hip-hop community began to react. Some rappers, out of loyalty to Remy, distanced themselves from Papoose completely. Others, wary of the drama, chose silence. Cardi B, according to reports, reached out privately to Remy with words of encouragement, reminding her that she wasn't alone. Female rappers became divided. Some defended Claressa, applauding her boldness and fearlessness, while others stood firmly by Remy, calling the whole situation disrespectful and unacceptable. And here's the part that makes it even worse. Sources say Remy had no idea this was coming. None. The interview blindsided her completely. Imagine scrolling your phone or maybe hearing from a friend and suddenly seeing the woman your husband proposed to saying she's having his baby. Sources close to her say she was so shocked she locked herself in her dressing room for hours. canceling a private gala appearance. One insider even claimed she smashed her phone after the clip went viral on Twitter. Whether that detail is exaggerated or not, the message is clear. Remy is devastated. And honestly, who wouldn't be? And then came the internet reaction, which was as chaotic as you'd expect. Within an hour of that interview clip hitting the timeline, the hashtag Remy Deserves Better was trending worldwide. Fans started digging up throwback photos and videos of Remy and Papoose wedding clips, old interviews, prison visits, anniversary posts. People were practically writing digital obituaries for their marriage. She gave him everything, and he gave her this, one viral tweet said. But not everyone was on Remy's side. Oh no, because this is social media, and there are always people ready to stir the pot. Some folks defended Claressa, calling her a queen who knows what she wants. One user tweeted, "Why y'all mad? She won." Remy fumbled. Another said, "Let's be real. If Papoose really loved Remy, he wouldn't have left. Claressa just did what Remy couldn't." And just like that, the internet divided into teams, fueling the fire even more. And what about Papoose himself, you ask? Crickets. Not a word, not a post, not a reaction gif, nothing. And that silence is deafening. Some people say he's staying quiet to avoid backlash. Others believe he's laying low because he knows he messed up and doesn't have the words to explain himself. And if the rumors are true that this baby plan has been in motion for months, then his silence might not just be guilt, it might be strategy. Because what can you say when the receipts are already out there? What makes this entire situation sting even more is that Remy and Papoose weren't just another celebrity couple, they were a symbol. They were held up as proof that love could survive anything, even the most impossible circumstances. And for many fans, this feels personal. Because if Remy, who stood by her man through prison time and career struggles, could get blindsided like this, what hope does anybody else have? It's not just about celebrity gossip anymore. It's about the crumbling of an idea people actually believed in. And Claressa stepping into that role, not quietly, but loudly and unapologetically, makes it all the more shocking. So now the big question is, where do we go from here? Will Papoose eventually break his silence and address the chaos? Will Claressa double down and continue living her best life in the spotlight, unbothered by the fallout? And most importantly, will Remy find the strength to rise from this? Or is this the tragic end to one of hip-hop's most iconic love stories? Because let's be real, this story isn't over. If anything, it's just getting started. And with a baby potentially on the way, things are about to get even messier. One thing's for sure, this isn't the kind of drama that fades in a week. This is the kind of story that reshapes careers, reputations, and entire narratives. So grab your popcorn, because this love triangle turned war zone is far from finished. And when the next chapter unfolds, you know we'll be right here, breaking it all down.